Welcome to Football Daft, the daftest Scottish football podcast around. My name's Stephen Purden, and let's welcome the team. First, a man who is lucky to be here, who nearly never made it here today. He had a terrible accident the other night, and he's suffering, but he's out his sick bed. He's here. It is none other than the hardest man in Scotland. It's Chris Toll. Chris,
let's
talk
happen,
us through it. You okay, mate?
Aye,
you alright, mate?
So I took the dog out the other night, just when the snow started. Right, so there was just a small spattering.
A sprinkle
of snow. Right, but what I didn't realise was it was fucking a sheet of ice underneath it. So I've took the dog out, fucking Home Alone style, man. Legs up over my head, scalped my head off the fucking ground, man. Absolutely out for the count. When I woke up, couldn't move my arms. I thought my fucking dog's going to run away. But the wee legend just stayed beside me, licking my face to make sure I was all right. But I'm here. I've survived.
Hey. I'm glad you. I'm really. I've been worried about you.
What are you talking about? When I tell you he's on the group chat, all you done was laugh the whole fucking time.
And speaking of group chats,
we'll need to give him a wee. We'll maybe need to start a wee just giving for his injuries. You get any injuries you need to deal with anything like that? So.
Here, Toll.
Aye.
Did you know? Did you know? See in the group chat that one of your neighbours came in and seen you or something?
Aye, it was a guy that a guy I've known since I was away.
Did he bring a wee packet of sweeties on it?
You know what? I'll be honest with you, but I went to the doctors and he went like, "Well,
you went to the doctors for that? Must have been bad, mate.
No, but I went to the doctors. I says to him, "Listen, everywhere sore." He says, "Show me." So I went, "They're sore. He says, "You broke your finger." There we go.
We're off and running. And now,
you get what you pay for.
And now let's welcome a man who has been taking advantage of his beer machine, and the group chat has been non-stop every Saturday. He's been waking up on Sunday morning with a few regrets here, there and everywhere. It is none other than Grado. Mate.
I'm getting rid of that, man.
Aye, mate. Do you know what, mate? It's good, mate, but see, sometimes you're kind of sitting there, man, you're like, why watch you telly? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, shut up, Grado. Shut up. I mean...
Did I send you me singing Marvin Gaye and all that? No? Ain't no sunshine. Did I no send you that? Fuck. No. It's a red night. A day. You're right, man. It's embarrassing. I put my hand up. It is. That's it. It's getting back, man.
Hey, mate, you're enjoying yourself.
What the fuck? There's nothing else today. I literally see me. I tell you what, Monday to Friday's no bad because I'm working, right? But see these weekends, man, it's a graft. It's a graft. There's fuck all else today. Sitting bevy. Anyway.
You ever thought about getting a board game?
What?
Ever thought about getting a board game?
Yeah, just mate, when you're in the state you're in, but your voice notes, just watch if you're out walking the dog and all that. We don't want you doing a Chris Toll, you know what I mean? Just fucking.
Aye,
Chris Toll at his bodyguard, man. He's Laz up, so. His security team.
Fuck yous, man. Fuck yous. Right in the ear. You just don't understand. I've got a skeletal condition.
I know, mate. No, I wasn't saying because
listen. You're sitting there laughing at me. This is serious. I could have been dead.
I know, mate. I know.
Hashtag pray for Toll.
I pray for Toll, man. Right. Let's move on. What's been happening in Scottish football, right? I woke up this morning. It's another day. It's another banner. It's Celtic Park. There's another banner this morning. There's another banner. This one says, what is it? It says parasites, liars, charlatans. What are you making of that?
I think somebody's just standing there talking about favourite movies and bands.
What you thinking, mate? What you thinking? Another banner.
Listen, they're keeping fucking stationery box in business, aren't they?
They must be spending a fucking fortune on banners. I'm not joking.
I know, man. It's fucking. What do they expect? What are they trying to achieve with this?
He's have picked up, man. He's have closed the gap to 21 now after the weekend. You know what I mean?
Aye, well, that's fucking. Aye.
But see, did you watch any of the weekend's football? Did he manage to catch your foot?
Of course I did. I watched both games, Graham.
And yes. Did you think, is the 10 back on?
Listen, I said that since like daft, right? I've got a feeling Rangers are going to hit a wee bit of the skids here for a wee while. And I think what worries me
you were on Celtic daft about Rangers.
No, I was talking about Celtic.
I'm kidding on.
Right, but anyway, what I'm saying is, see if Rangers have a wee bit of a blip here, right, and drop a few points, and Celtic win their games in hand, and then Celtic manage to beat Rangers in the 2 games, right? It could bring it. Now, I don't think it will win the league, right? I don't think it will win the league. But what's terrifying me is the board go like that. Well, he nearly brought it back. We'll keep him for another season. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
But do you know what? As a Rangers fan, right, it's like I put my hands up. I'm a panty wetter with this carry on now, and the group chat's a murder. But it's still the game on Sunday. I felt, as I've spoken about this in Rangers Daft, felt a lot better once I listened to the gaffer and McGregor. No. It's like even this week I'm nervous, man. Of course, Kelly, I've got a new manager for the weekend. You know what I mean? No, that I don't think Rangers can take 3 points, but it's
going to be one of the games.
Mate, we played Kelly in their fucking dug meat game.
Oh, mate, they were so bad, disorganised. The worst I've seen them in years. But
you know what it's like when a manager.
Yeah, he's got a full week to get them organised, too. So it's not going to be a walk in the park.
That was unacceptable the weekend for us. It was absolutely unacceptable. I mean, Hamilton had 7 shots in target. We had 2. McGregor's man of the match.
Aye, if it's not for McGregor, Hamilton Ackies have turned you over.
But lucky, mate, we didn't deserve a draw.
No.
We did not deserve a draw. It was. I don't know if it's a mixture of we're starting to get a wee bit jittery, or we're going out there with the attitude we've won this. The attitude's just all wrong. But Gerrard said it himself. He's got to take some of the blame, because when Davis and Jack came on, you seen it was night and day. Zungu, no good enough. Good enough.
No, I think this week, Gerrard, it'll be like the reaction to the other times we've dropped points. I think it'll be right up for it. We've got to come out guns blazing on Saturday. I think they will. I think they'll be G'd up, man. I've got no other option. They need to be. So.
Lads, you need to watch what you're saying about Zungu. All the South African folk will be after these.
Oh,
but mate, we've got the honours for the Cayman Islands, man. So we're all right.
Is that where we're number 1 podcast at the Cayman Islands?
Aye, number 1 the Cayman Islands, not me, isn't it, John?
Still is, yep.
Did you just check that there? Yeah, still number 1 the Cayman Islands.
Just check the Cayman iTunes charts there. Yeah, we're still flying high.
So, Mayor Scottish Football, right? The government announced that no decision will be made until March at the earliest for the lower leagues. What do you think is going to happen there? It's a bit of a sad situation, isn't it?
It's sad, but do you know what? It's like
it's necessary.
As I said, I've spoke to. I've got a pal that he plays with Arbroath now, and
what's his name, mate?
Ricky Little.
What's his name?
Ricky Little.
How come you've never mentioned that he was your pal before?
What was very telling? What was very telling is he's saying that he knows a lot of players that they don't like these. They don't like the
restrictions.
It's hard, man, for them to enjoy. It's hard for them to enjoy it because it's just not the same for them. Just
you know
now.
What? You can, even when you're not on the pitch, you can't even sit and talk to the folk that are beside you because you're a bit 4 or 5 seats away for everybody. You know what I mean? And they're getting changed in the fucking stands at the lower league games, and it's just that fuck that.
Here's a thing, right? I just started back work yesterday, right? But before that, obviously, I've been doing the homeschooling with the veins. We're on lockdown. Can't go anywhere. John, this is mostly for you. Football, Rangers, Tavernier mentioned it in his programme notes last week or the week before. He knows how much, he said he realised how much football is to a lot of people's mental health, all that kind of stuff, right? A hard week when I was in lockdown there, no working. My sole focus a lot of the time is the end of the week, Saturday, Rangers game, watch your football. The football keeps you going. John, I know you and your mates do a Zoom call and you still get together for the Falkirk game. How hard is it for you knowing you've no football at the end of the week?
It's really hard. I mean, it's really hard. And I mean, there doesn't seem to be any light at the end of the tunnel for us in the lower leagues. You know, you got to feel for Thistle supporters as well. You know, they're down there. And I honestly can't see the leagues restarting unless they're going to run into summer football, which I don't know if that'll be an option. But I mean, it means the likes of Falkirk, we're going to be stuck down for a second year running. And Thistle will be bailing as well because they would have had the chance of going up, as would, like, you go down to, you know, like Cove Rangers and stuff in League Two.
Cove Rangers, aye.
But John, surely you're talking about the summer football. Why that should be Why can they not do that? That should be happening.
I
They
don't
should
know.
play on to July. What's the crack with that?
I agree with you, Grado. The only problem is we've got the Euros.
And then FIFA come into it then, the FIFA come into
right.
it. So I don't know if that's feasible or not.
See,
but
anything that's going to take viewing figures away from the Euros, UEFA will put the kibosh on.
But surely it's extraordinary circumstances where they should be able to go at that at this point. You're talking about the clubs need it. They need.
Well, there's a lot of talk of the players actually wanting to abandon the Euros. But a lot of players are worried about it. Do you know
That'd be so Scotland. That would be so Scotland for that to happen.
Get into a tournament, it doesn't happen.
No, but imagine all the players pulled out for all the other teams and all the Scottish players went, fuck it, this is our chance to win this bastard. Do you know what I mean? and we had our strongest squad and all the rest were playing third division fucking players for their country. Yes, sign me up, man.
Do you know what you need to think about as well? But this is what I thought about it on terms. I see some of the lower league football players. There'll be a lot of them that can't enjoy the football for the fact that it's not their full-time job, right? And they turn around and say in the Monday, by the way, I can't play. I can't come into my work today because I get exposed to COVID at the weekend. I need to be asked for 2 weeks. Or worse, it's a Tuesday. And
well, Grado, you'll know yourself. You'll know yourself as well. Being with your wrestling when you were working with the fire brigade. See if an outside... me as well, I've got my own shoot job as well, right? If something happens to me when I was doing the wrestling and I get injured and I couldn't go to my actual job, then I would get disciplined for that because exactly. You know what I mean? So your point's very valid.
Their priority, because their priority is just their business. You're part of that.
You fucking go away and play football the weekend and all that. Wait the fuck. Do you know what I mean? 100%. So it's just hopefully there's light in the tunnel.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully, but I'm sure we'll get more football chat on the open line, no doubt. And this week, Trips, we are taking a bow, son. Taking a bow. His legendary commentator and former Dundee United, Wolves, Everton, Rangers striker Andy Gray joins us on the show. Plus another contestant playing for Pies on the Player Profile Play Off. And on the big question, any comedy reasons you were sacked from a job off the back of none other than Jobbygate.
He's a player that played with Dundee United, Villa, Wolves to Everton. He was a no-nonsense striker who picked up 20 Scotland caps along the way. For many though, he is the voice of football himself. Please welcome Andy Gray. Andy, thanks for taking the time to do this, big man.
Pleasure, guys. Pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
What's the crack? Where are you right now?
I'm at home. I'm in my apartment in Qatar. Overlooking. Do you want to see where I am?
Aye.
Yes.
Of course we do, man.
I'm in my apartment.
I bet you this is fancy as fuck.
No, I'm in my apartment. Just show you the view I've got every day I wake up.
Here we go.
And the World Cup comes here in 2022, lads. That's what will be greeting you.
It even sounds roasting. That is tremendous.
It even sounds roasting.
It does.
Andy, we've got about, if I go outside now, I just disappear because we've got about 5 feet of snow. You know what I mean? Aye.
Funny enough, I'm coming back tomorrow because it's not great. I've got to get the old knee replacement.
Right.
All caught up with me, so I'm getting that done. So I'm flying back tomorrow. So I'll be back in the snow with you guys.
I tell you what, you might need to check because he's not exaggerating when he says the amount of snow we've got. I'll show you,
really
right?
Bad, mate.
Check this. Hold on.
Hopefully I'm going to London, so I'm hoping that'll be all right.
You see that?
You'll be all right in London.
Oh God. That's a beautiful blue sky, same as here.
It's not the sky you need to be worrying about. It's what's underfoot. I felt nearly killed myself the other night.
I know.
Oh, you've not talking about that again, Toe, man. You're milking that now.
Nearly had a fatality with Chris Toll through the week.
Nearly had one of the wee bits at the start of the show in memory of. You know what I mean?
So, Andy, what's life like in Qatar?
Aye, what is it like?
Well, I mean, in all honesty, lads, I mean, obviously life's very different for all of us the last 12 months.
Aye.
But they seem to be okay here. We've had a few infections go up, and but you know, things are okay. It's you can still go and have dinner at the restaurants are open. I've just played golf this morning. Don't get jealous. It was only about 25 degrees this morning, so we played golf this morning. Had a bit of lunch at the golf course. I'm going out for dinner with my missus tonight because it's our anniversary as well.
Oh,
Nice.
happy anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you, boys.
Tell me,
remember
have you had your
dinner, man?
vaccination yet, Andy?
No, I haven't, because I'm supposed to get it before I came back. But they're down to about people 50 and upwards now here. So I should have had it, but I missed it for some reason. But I had COVID. I had COVID anyway. Did
you?
Yeah, I had it. September or something, and I didn't even know. I had no symptoms. I wasn't ill. I just had to quarantine here in my apartment for 2 weeks, and I did. And luckily, I was on my own. My missus wasn't here, so it was easy for me to do that.
Aye.
Tell me this one. See, when Richard Keys went to get it, is it true that when he took his top off, they says they don't test on animals?
Funny enough, right? Okay, now he was. I give you that. In his Sky days, he was extremely hairy. Yes, he would be the first. But in fairness, with the new systems they have now, the hair has all gone.
Really?
It's gone. Yeah. He's had a.
Bob, you need to find out about this.
I do.
And he's all that, hands that he had and the chest and the back. That's all gone. So he's very, very happy about that.
See, I'm kind of, I need to get that because me and Grado, we do panto together quite a lot.
He's been a boat, man.
And I go to get changed into my costume. And we've not got time to manscape all the time, Andy. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So my back, I'm like, what's my back like, Grado?
Man, it's fucking, I hate it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't expect somebody that kind of wee in stature to have so much hair. It's just bizarre.
No.
Well, he had to get a hair transplant on his head or not? I don't get it.
I think that's what's happened.
But he's not anymore.
I think it's fell through Stevie's head and come out his arse.
No, can't help it, man. Can't help it. Anyway, Andy, looking back on your career, I mean, television, you're the voice of Super Sunday for me still to this day, man. But looking back on your playing career, what's the highlights when you look back? I mean, you've got to get your knee operation tomorrow. Looking back on your football career, what's the highlights?
Okay, I mean, Craig, where do you want to start and how long have you got? It's a bit like that.
As long as you want, mate.
I mean, I was a Drumchapel boy, born and bred, and had a vision or a desire to play football, and didn't think I would. Never thought it'd be good enough. So somebody had said to me when I was 17, and I was travelling up to Dundee United for my first training session on the train, ready to start. If somebody had said to me that I would have won all I've won, that I would have, played for the club I supported as a boy, representing my country, and scored for both of them, scored in a FA Cup final, a League Cup final, a European final. If somebody had told me that's going to be what part of your career, I'd have said, piss off.
Right.
That was stupid. It's only me. I've got no chance of that. So, lots of highlights, but as I've said, listen, the fact that I did what every Rangers supporter wants to do, and that's play for the Terries, then that's up there. Of course it is. And I thought I'd missed out because I remember, when would it have been? It would have been after I finished playing that obviously Big Jock Wallace was still alive, and I went to play in a golf course. Went to play the golf tournament Jock was having in England.
Brilliant.
And I was sitting there having a chat with him, and he said, I tried to buy you. I said, what? He said, I tried to buy you. I said, when? He said, when you were at Dundee United.
Wow.
Jock was obviously manager of Rangers at the time.
Yes.
I said, so what happened? He said, that wee bastard McLean wouldn't sell me to you. I said, what? He said, aye, wee bastard. He said, no way. I'm not letting Andy go anywhere but England. And that was it.
Oh, man. Imagine being a fly in the wall, listening to a phone conversation, the two of them having an argument, McLean and Wallace.
Oh, can you imagine it?
That would be, I'd pay good money for that. That's
funny.
But in fairness, I mean, I know he's gone now, Jim and Joe, but Jim was a genius. I mean, I loved him. He was brilliant for me for 2 years.
A great character as well, wasn't he? A great character of Scottish football, Jim McLean.
I mean, he was mad in respect that, God blame me, I saw him bring fully grown men to tears at half-time in certain games. I mean, he never held back. I think in the politically correct world we live in today, Jim might have had a problem. He might have been up before HR every other day, I'll tell you. And that time when he chinned the reporter who was asking him questions, he told him not to ask him. I just thought, the wee man, he better retire, I thought. Take it home.
That's the thing, though. If he's bringing fully grown men to tears, me and Stevie would be fucked.
He would have no chance, mate.
Andy, see, it's funny, right? Because you are the voice of football to many of us, right? And do you know? I'll tell you what. One of the best. Toll will know this, right? He's a Celtic fan, but see, I love the way this season when Richard Keys brings up the Rangers. A couple of weeks ago when St Mirren beat Celtic, and just hearing you, that. Because we don't get to see enough of you talking about Scottish football this season, it's been brilliant. I mean, what's your thoughts on the Rangers this season?
I think what we've done this season, what's my thoughts? How can anybody think anyone but hugely positive? It's been amazing. Haven't lost a game yet. Could become invincible. I hope that's the case. It would be an amazing way to finish the season. I thought we were hopeless at the weekend, mind you. That's as bad as I've seen us. And lucky not to get beat. I'm really lucky. So if that's as bad as we played and we didn't get beat, then that's all right. But I think what they've done this year, Stephen, Gack, staff, the boys have been sensational. I think the players have been brilliant. I mean, really, really good. I couldn't fault them. And when you think they're doing that with Europe as well, I mean, I was sitting at the beginning of the season thinking, would I be quite happy to get knocked out of Europe? Because this is a big year. Yeah, we're 55 coming up and getting rid of the 10 in a row for them. I thought, maybe we should go to Europe early and then we can maybe concentrate on winning the league.
Yes.
I was all of that. But then as it went on, the more it went on, the more I thought, no, bollocks. This is good for us. Right. You know, this is great to be playing in these competitive games. It should keep us sharp. And I think, you know, I hope I'm not going to say it yet, but we're a long way down the line and not far to go and not many games to win to get over the line. So, and I think they will. And I don't think anyone could turn around and say they haven't deserved it. They've been absolutely fantastic. And that's without a 25 goal a season front man. I mean, it's no happened for Morelos this season, really.
No.
And we haven't really had, you know, and Jermaine Defoe come in and, you know, with a few. And what they've done is they've shared the load around a lot. And I think that's been terrific. It's been the key to their success and that they've not relied on one person to get all the goals this year. So it's been really,
more like a team. So what do you think about that? That was great.
What are your thoughts on that, my man?
I used to like this guy, by the way.
Andy, I think we could just end the interview there, mate. That's class. Cheers, mate.
Thanks for your time, Andy.
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
It's brilliant. But what do you think about Stephen Gerrard? Do you think it'll not be long before clubs down south or will be knocking at the door for Stephen Gerrard?
I'll tell you this now. He's better hope that Liverpool buck their ideas up.
You really think so, too?
I genuinely do, because he's done his apprenticeship at Rangers now. If Klopp keeps going the way he's going, he'll end up out the door at Liverpool, and that's the man that they'll go for.
Do you think?
I'm telling you.
A couple of things on that. I don't think Liverpool continue to go the way they're going. They're too good to do that. And he's too good a coach to let it happen. I think that's the first thing. So it's been a strange season in England this year. Probably the same as Scotland, but it's been a really strange one with teams having spells and then falling away and then coming back. You know, they've all done it. You know, I think it was December the 16th, which is not so long ago, that Liverpool were top of the league and everyone's saying, well, there they go. They're off and running. No one's going to catch them now. And this is happening. Now everybody's saying it about City. You don't know. Wait and see. They're a bit like Rangers City this year. They haven't had a front man. You know, they're scoring goals from everywhere else. And they've had no Aguero. They've had no Jesus to get them 20-odd goals a season. They've done what Rangers have done in many ways. It's almost a mirror image when you look at the amount of goals they scored from various places. And they've done the same. They've had to do the same. But they might get caught. But I think that if Klopp has a bad season, he's entitled to it. You know what I mean?
He's got credit in the bank there after what he's done for Liverpool.
And they love him, and so they should. He's perfect for that club. I still think it's early for Stephen, and I mean that if he wins the title this year, brilliant. That would be what, his third year?
Third year, mate. Yeah, third year.
So he's had 3 years then. Is that enough?
I think he would want a crack at the Champions League.
Yeah, but I think that would be a good thing for him. So, and I don't think he thinks that Klopp's going anywhere in the next couple
He's
of years.
not daft, no. You're
I
right.
think this season, at the end of next season, then depending how Liverpool are and how Klopp feels, because they all get a bit burnt out as well, these coaches. So I don't think we have to worry, Chris. The Rangers anyway, at least until the end of next season.
Aye, but do you not think that once Celtic win the league next season, then Gerrard's stock will have gone up a fair bit?
I thought you were the other guys were the comedians.
Well, feel free to just go and get the dinner on the new or something.
I know, man. Do you know what? So anyway, what about that telly punditry? That's all right. No,
I love your optimism.
And seriously,
that's what football fans are all about.
Like, when you came in and started doing your punditry on Sky, you changed the game, really, didn't you? If you're being honest with yourself, you did. Nobody was doing what you were doing. Your analysis was second to none and stuff like that. Do you think that you are kind of like the forefather for that? See, when you look at people like Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher and stuff like that now, do you think that without Andy Gray, you wouldn't have that sort of analysis now?
Well, probably without, and I don't like to give them too many plaudits after they sack me, but I think without Sky Sports and the coverage that they've given, yeah, we wouldn't have had the analysis. If it had carried on just like Match of the Day and the odd live game every now and again, no, it wouldn't have done. There would have been analysis. I mean, I think the forefather of it all I would probably say is Jimmy Hill. I think Jimmy was the first who really went into it in an analytical sense, and I think he was the one who started it. We took it on, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think you're right. We gave them something that no one had ever seen before. Monday Night Football was a groundbreaking show. And I remember Andy Melvin. He's the man responsible. Another Scot, by the way. So we've been influenced a lot. He was our main guy at Sky. He was the one who put it all together. He was our boss. He produced the lot for the first, I don't know, what would have been 7 or 8 years. So he was the one who came to me one day where I used to go and do the games on Monday. We just used to show it, Monday Night Football. And he came to me and he says, I've got an idea. I said, what's that? He said, next week, he says, I want you in the studio. I says, what? He says, remember we were in the Holiday Inn in Glasgow one day, and this is when I was obviously playing for Rangers, and he was working for Scottish television, and we used to meet. I used to stay at the Holiday Inn, so we'd meet there, and he was talking to me one day about football, and we had a load of empty bottles of beer, be surprised to hear on the table. He said, you know the difference between a 4-4-2 and so I just got these bottles in front of me, and I started doing this as if the table was a pitch, and I was moving them here and I'm doing that, and he logged it away. And this is about 3 or 4 years later. He says, remember that night in the Holiday Inn when you were showing me? I said, yeah. I want you to do that on a Monday night. I want you to take that kind of analysis, and I'm going to give you replays. I'm going to give you machines to work. I'm going to give you illustrators to write on. And I'm going, what? I said, so what am I going to get? 2 or 3 months to? No, next week. I went, what? Next Monday. I says, all right then. And of course, the boot room was another thing that spawned from that, where we used to sit around the boot room table.
Yeah.
That was great. I really did enjoy that part of it as well. Had some great people on there. But I think we started it. But I was lucky. I was the one who was around when the opportunity came. It could have been anybody, but Andy Melvin liked what I'd been doing when I'd done television bits and pieces. He liked it. He thought I'd be good at it. I was retiring, and he made a play for it. And I thought, well, why not? It's nice to be in at the inception of something. And it was. And I'm not going to sit here and say, they're all twats because of what happened at the end of that. It was a brilliant 20 years. I think we did change it all. And I think that Monday Night Football is just a modern version with more gizmos and more technology. It's the same. It's just a modern version of what we set up, 15, 16 years ago, whatever it was, or longer, 26 years ago, whatever it was. So, yeah, but I was lucky. I was there and I was asked to do it, and I was given the tools to do it. And I worked with great people. people who were football fans. Andy Melvin, mad football fan. Martin Tyler, football fan. Richard Keys, football fan. David Livingston at the time, a reporter, another jock, football fan. Jeff Shreves, who subsequently came on and did that, football fan. You know, these people loved the game. So they were kind of giving us the game. And if we'd have messed it up, who knows where football would have been, you know, but we didn't. We didn't mess it up. And it just, I mean, who would have thought way back then that we would, when we paid, I think, 340 million, I think it was for 4 years, that they'd be paying 3.1 billion.
Aye. Mental.
It's contract.
You're the catalyst for all this, for all these players getting the wages. It's really, when you think about it, that's played a big, big part in how the Premier League is. You know, people view it as a number one league.
I wish you took royalties instead of a paycheck.
You know, right. Shares in the company might have been all right as well, I guess.
What about standout moments when you were at Sky then, Andy, in terms of games that you commentated on?
Some wonderful games. You know, that I've always said, people say, what was the best game you ever did at when you were working there? Without a shadow of a doubt, mid-90s. Keegan.
Newcastle, Liverpool.
Newcastle, go to Liverpool.
Aye.
There at the Skin.
Stan Collymore.
Aye, and it was a Wednesday night, and the pitch was awful. But the quality of the football and the pace of it, when people talk about the pace now, is breathtaking. My God. Have a look at that game again and see the
quality. Was it 4 each or something like that? Is that what that was? That game?
Is it what?
Was it the 4 each game?
4-3,
aye.
4-3.
At least a video, I remember having that as a boy. That was brilliant.
Keegan went through every emotion that was possible.
There's a goal in the first minute, a winner in the last minute, and 5 brilliant goals in between. It was breathtaking. I mean, it was unbelievable. That's the best game I did, because that never let up. You get some games where you maybe don't have a great first half and it's a brilliant second half and a great ending. But that game started in the first minute with a goal and just kept going for 90 minutes. I mean, it was like a runaway train, and you couldn't stop it, and it was brilliant. It was so many good players on the pitch.
That's what I was going to say. The players, like you had Ginola and Aspria and Robbie Fowler, Collymore and McMahon. John, that's what I was going to say as well. John Barnes, for me, was the man of the match that night. He was excellent.
It's almost like nowadays, like I was talking, me and my mates in a group chat the other day were talking, and it was Super Sunday. A lot of Super Sunday games come on now, and when you think back to the Newcastle Liverpool game you're talking about there, it's almost as if there's too much pressure on the games now that the games become a bit an anticlimax at times. Do you know what I mean? The Super Sunday games where there's too much at stake, or I don't know, is it because there's too much money in the game? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's like sometimes the games are pumped up so much with Sky when the actual game comes.
Are we talking about Arsenal Man United here, mate?
Oh man, God.
You can pick out a million games. I mean, I see basically 380 games a year, right? I watch most of them because even on a Saturday when we are doing the game, we have 5 screens in front of us where there are other games on. And I do think you're right in respect. I do think football's changed from the early time in the Premier League. Listen, a lot of people say it's for the better. I'm not so sure, because I think that the way it's changed, and you guys might like it, and that's fine. But I always watched football, and I played football, so there were chances created and saves being made and excitement in penalty areas. Nothing bores me more than a game, and I've seen plenty of them down the years, in recent years, where one team has 1,000 passes, another team has 700 passes, and we've had about 4 shots each at the goal. And people go, wow, what a great technical game that was. And I go, actually, no. And I don't think the majority of a lot of my football fans think that's the right way. People going about Pep Guardiola, they play football the right way. Sorry, it's football. There isn't a right way, there isn't a wrong way. There are various ways, and I think if we all start playing football the right way, we'll be bored rigid. We are fucking bored rigid. I mean that. I mean, when I see goalkeepers rolling the ball back from a 6-yard box to a defender stood on the goal line to get an attack started, I think to myself, fucking hell, he must be good. These must be a good team. You know, I guess that some teams want to play like that, but if every team does that, I get bored. I really get bored. I love to see a game where there's. I tell you why, and I hate to say this as an Evertonian as well as a Ranger. That's why in the last few years Liverpool have been so good and good to watch, because their football is high octane. Their football isn't. I mean, they got caught the other night messing about at the back, and they paid for it when they got beat with City. I don't know what they're trying to do. Their football was always be get through the lines quickly, move up the park, get the ball to the front three, because we've got the best front three in Europe probably. So why do we want the ball in our back four when I've got Firmino, Salah, and Mane at the top end of the pitch? And they've been great to watch. That's why I've loved Leeds so much this year.
They are so exciting to watch.
They're like a throwback. People will go, yeah, but look at the goals you can see. So what?
They're a breath of fresh air.
Leeds are my English team.
You know, they try and go and win a game. They go forward. They throw men forward. It's been like a breath of fresh air. And then we go, yeah, but they'll never win it. They're not there to win anything. Of course, they're not going to win it at the moment, because they're certainly going to win the league. But as far as I can see, in the last 3 or 4 years, there's only 2 teams could win the league. And that's been the 2 that have won it. So what they've brought is a refreshing brand of football. I mean, I hate when I see bottom 6 clubs. They're playing in the bottom 6 or the bottom 8, and they're passing the ball about the penalty area, their own penalty area, across the back and then back across the back. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? You're in the bottom 6. Any chance you can get the ball forward and maybe score a goal or 2. So the game's changed, and I don't know why. I think a lot of foreign coaches in the game has definitely influenced that. You know, back in the early 90s and mid-90s, late 90s, there were very few foreign coaches. Now, there are very few British coaches. But I think we're getting a few back in, and it'll be interesting to see.
What do you think of VAR, Andy?
Hate it.
Aye.
Hate it.
That's another part. I think it's taken away, I don't know, the natural excitement of games. Do you know what I mean? Where a player sometimes scores a goal and he can't celebrate and relax because he's wondering, was I offside there? Is there going to be VAR here? Do you know what I mean? So stuff like that, I think, ruining the game as well. Celebrate.
I would like to know what it's given us. I said at the time, and I've been consistent from day one. I think it was a bad idea. Maybe it was well meant, but it was never going to work. Never going to, you know, they say, well, we offside. Well, no, this game is not meant to be microscopically analysed like offside. So he's 2 centimetres offside. Let's disallow the goal. Oh, that's a fucking great idea, that is. Disallow a goal that fans want to come and we all go to football, we see
entertainment.
Goals, and we're trying to do everything we can with VAR not to give a goal. And at the end of the day, what we've given these people is a kind of power they shouldn't have.
Aye, exactly.
Honestly, they shouldn't have it. We've now got, you know, they say, well, it's black and white. No, it's not. It's still subjective. You know, there's a guy sitting in Stockley Park, 100 miles away from the game, who's reffing the game, who's reffing the big decision, who's making the big decision. Not the guy on the pitch, the one in Stockley Park. He can change a decision in a football match. I mean, they won at Fulham and the guy gets sent off at the weekend. That was just one.
Oh, the West Ham and Fulham, that was ridiculous. That was crazy.
I'm watching Southampton against Villa, I know, and their microscopic, was it a penalty? Yeah, it was a penalty. Matt Cash handled the ball. It was going on target. It's a penalty. It brushed his thigh. So what? It's a penalty. You know, Danny Ings was half a heel offside. Come on. So disallowing goals for things that are an inch or a centimetre. We don't care as fans. We just want to see goals. You don't care. If he's offside, we can see that on a replay without lines, without anything. And that's what it should be. If it's going to be used, let's use it at that. Is he offside? Yeah, he is. If it's touch and go, it's a goal. We want to see goals. I've never liked it. I've never been a fan. Sadly, it's here to stay. But what I have noticed this year more than ever is more and more people who were for it
are now against it.
Yeah.
Aye, totally.
And I think if you did a straw poll of Premier League players, let's say there's 3,000 of them, you did. I bet you 2,500 at least don't like it. Maybe more. I just think players hate it. They do things and they score a goal and they run the boot and then they go, hold on.
That's what I was going to say as well. They allow them to celebrate the goal. If the stadium was full, the fans would be celebrating the goal, and then just a deflation. But I was watching Paul Merson at the weekend, and he says that it's as if they've brought it in to stop goals from being scored.
That's what it's like.
You know what I mean? And it's like you touched on it there as well, Andy. There's a lot of times I think that it's good, see, especially for tackles and stuff like that.
No, it's not. I disagree.
You not think so?
No, I disagree. And I'll tell you why I disagree. I disagree because the Souček one at the weekend's a classic example. The trouble with VAR and tackles is, and having been there, is that you can commit yourself to a tackle, a genuine, honest tackle, and be a fraction late in real time. Fraction late. And the boy just nicks the ball away from me. And your boot comes down on his. And if you run that in super slow motion, you go, oh shit, that's a bad tackle. Mm-hmm. But if you run it in normal speed, you think, well, he's a bit unlucky there. He's made a genuine attempt for the ball. So I think super slow motion is another thing that makes tackles look far worse than they are. I mean, the boy Souček, he's trying to get his arm out the way. He's got to fuck off. And he catches him in slow motion. They're saying, oh.
Aye.
It's calculated.
It was an outrageous decision, that. It was a terrible decision.
The referee ended up getting death threats and the lot, did he not? Souček had to release a statement.
We don't want that. I was reading to somebody in the mail, Matt Samuel, in the mail yesterday, I think, as he said, no one wants to see that. He said, but I guarantee the way to stop that would be to take the PlayStations off them. I mean, there is a good. I mean, the ones who are doing that death threats are probably kids and idiots, keyboard warriors, as we call them. I think,
definitely.
So,
but Andy, you're talking about being an Evertonian. What about Carlo Ancelotti? What do you think?
I think it was a great appointment. I really do. I said at the time, because you never know when people get to, what is he, 60s? In his 60s, Carlo? I think he must be.
I
think he is. So if somebody gets to their 60s and is coached all over the world, but never in England, I kind of think, right, I love him. But the fact he's one of the best coaches in the world. If you look at his CV, when they talk about great coaches, they go Guardiola, Mourinho, Allegri, all these, Saki. They don't mention him. And yet, look at his record. It's sensational, wherever he's been. Mm-hmm. And I think that, I said, if he's got his mojo and he still wants to do it, then Everton have got a great coach. Still believe that, because Everton are still a bit away from where he would like them to be. They're a bit, not freaky, that's the wrong word. They're a bit inconsistent. You know, they're definitely a good side when the best 11's out there. But when certain players are not quite clicking, they kind of struggle a wee bit. But the fact of the matter is, if they win the games in hand they've got in the league, they'll go into the top four. And if they could finish in the top six at worst, that would be a fantastic first season for Ancelotti.
As a striker yourself, Andy, how highly do you rate Dominic Calvert-Lewin?
I think he's got a way to go still. I always backed him last year before he started scoring, because I could see a lot of good things in him. He probably, I always said, if I was coaching him, I would tell him not to run about as much. I would have told him, I don't want you running wide and chasing fullbacks and when you don't need to. I don't want you sprinting out there all the time. I want you to play more in with the penalty area. And I want, when our ball comes into the area, I want you in there. And I think he's told him that, Ancelotti, because what I read Dominic saying is that the gaffers asked me to play more in the penalty area. If you look at him in the tap-ins he's had this year, in the 6-yard box and around the 6-yard box, it's vastly improved than what he's had before. That helps him enormously. So I think he's getting better, and he's got to keep knowing that there's plenty of room for improvement. And I think with the people at the club, he will. I think Big Duncan will make sure his feet stay in the ground. And that's the only thing I can see that would stop him, because he's got the talent. He's quick. He's got great movement. He's tall. He can head the ball. So the boy's got a real chance, and I'm delighted he's had a good season. He had a little wobble, as everyone does. No one's perfect. But then he scored in the last couple of games as well, so that will help him. But no, I think Everton have needed somebody like that.
Andy, just before we go, have you got any opinions on Scotland, how they're going to fare against England in the Euros this year?
Oh, God, I don't know. What do I think about Scotland? I just think that we've a lot of good players, right? I mean, if you look at us now, we probably have more players playing Premier League football now than we've had for 10 years. You know, I can remember the times where it used to be Darren Fletcher, that was it. It would come up from the Premier League.
Don Hutchison and Darren Fletcher on it.
Yeah, that was it. That was now we've got a host bar, and I think we're strong. We're certainly strong in the midfield area. We know that. I think we really are. I don't know how good we are at the back. We are centre backs. I don't know. I don't know if we've got a dominant one yet. You boys will see more of them than I do, the Scottish boys. But I don't get the impression that we're kind of watertight there. And, you know, if we could find a front man or a couple who could get his goals at this level, then that's the big thing.
So Andy, you were telling us, obviously we did a wee bit for Patreon, you can find that if you sign up within the teammates thing, but you're telling us we wanted you to keep it for the main show, a wee story about Super Ali. It's me and Bob's hero. He's an absolute hero. Oh,
he's a legend. I love Coisty, one of my favourite people. No, it was funny because it was years ago when I was working at Sky and I was coming back on a Sunday night from a game, a 4 o'clock kickoff, so it would have been a night game, a Sunday night game in Scotland, and he was at Kilmarnock, right? It was his time at Kilmarnock.
Right.
So I'm listening to 5 Live or something like that. I'm coming back in the car, and it was like the commentator was almost Highland in his commentary. The little Highland lilt, as my mother comes from Lewis, I know. So they're sitting there, they're going, and these commentators going, well, Rangers are struggling tonight, of course, but I'm looking to the bench, and oh yes, Rangers are about to make a change. Alistair McCoist is coming off the bench. He's taking off his tracksuit. Dear, who's been eating all the pies? Crash my car. Honestly. So I phoned Coisty right then and then. I knew he was working, and I thought, Coisty, you've just got battered by this commentator. He phoned me back. Who was it? I said,
brilliant. He's some guy, Coisty, buddy. He's doing well, but back in the media and all that, away from management.
He's got more jobs than Dougie Donnelly now, and that.
Aye, but his hair's not as nice.
I texted him the other week. I said, who are you working for now? For God's sake.
He's everyone.
Listen, if he lost 90% of his jobs, it would solve the unemployment crisis in Scotland. God almighty. Yes, you watch Talk Sport, BBC 5 Live, Sky, BT.
We need to get him in the jungle. He needs to get in the jungle, man.
Oh, he should get in the jungle.
Oh,
yeah.
He would
win that.
He would ghost it.
Aye.
Well, he'd be good in there. He'd be good in there. Definitely be good in there.
Andy, thanks very much for that. At the end of our show each week, we do a 90-second Scottish football, general football quiz. To test your knowledge. Now, you seem like a knowledgeable character, I'll be honest with you. And we've got quite a few good names on the leaderboard just now. We've got at the top with 15 points, we've got John Sutton and Chick Young. They're drawing with each other. Then we've got Mark Wilson, Keith Lasley tucked in behind them with 14. Then we've got Kenny Duker and Kevin Harper who are just behind them with 13. Other selected scores include Derek Ray, a fellow FIFA commentator. He's got 11. Murdo McLeod on 10, Pat Nevin on 6, and at the bottom it's a tie between Peter Lovenkrands, Big Derek Johnson, Craig Levine, and Mixu Patalainen.
Right, I'll be doing with them. Big Ba. Is Big Ba doing it at the bottom? I'll be giving him a ring shortly.
Right, so is that who you want to beat then, aye?
Well, no, I'd just be happy to get it. What's their score?
They've got 4.
Yeah, 3.
3. Right.
3. Good.
You should beat that.
Yeah, I might get 3. Aye.
Right. So I'm going to ask you these questions. You get 90 seconds. You're not allowed to pass. You're not allowed to pass. Right. You've got to give an answer. Now it doesn't need to be the right answer.
Oh right, got you.
But you've got to give an answer. All right.
Yeah, got you.
So John, if we get 90 seconds on the clock,
we certainly have.
Right.
Right, Andy.
Give us an extra bit. Go on, we're good lad.
Your 90 seconds start now. Which club are nicknamed the Honest Men?
It's somebody in Scotland. St Johnson.
Right, who are the only club in Scotland with a J in their name?
St Johnson.
alphabetical order, who comes first of the teams in the Scottish Premier League?
Alphabetical order, Scottish Premier League, Aberdeen.
In what year did you get your first Scotland cap?
77.
Who have Celtic signed John Joe Kenny from?
Everton.
Curtis Main left Aberdeen to join which club?
Real Madrid.
Who has just been appointed as Kilmarnock manager?
Pep Guardiola.
How many Scottish managers are there in the English Premier League?
1.
How many goals did you score for Dundee United?
Hundreds.
In what league?
No, hold on. I was only joking. I would say 57.
In what league do Cowdenbeath play?
Second.
David Hopkin is the current manager of which Scottish Championship side?
I don't even know who's in the Championship. Dundee.
Graham Dorrans is currently playing with which Aussie side?
Time.
Oh, let him answer it, though. Let him answer it.
I've started, so I'll finish.
Yes.
He's playing with Aussie League side, A-League. Adelaide.
Adelaide. I'll tell you what, it looks like you've avoided the bottom.
Aye, it does. I would say so, aye.
Right, we'll go through your wrong answers, Andy. The Honest Men are Ayr United.
That's it.
Your first Scotland cap, we've got written down here 1975.
I must have been better than I thought.
Curtis Main didn't go to Real Madrid. He went to Shrewsbury.
Close.
Close.
That was close.
Kilmarnock have just appointed Tommy Wright as their manager. You got 46 goals according to Wikipedia for Dundee United, Andy.
Yeah, I knew.
Andy knows better.
Right,
John,
we'll give
I
him
thought
a
it was
point.
hundreds.
We'll give him a point.
Did you include my cup goals as well there?
No, do you know what? It doesn't. That's the thing.
At Disney.
It
Oh,
doesn't.
So Andy's right there. Andy gets a point.
give him that one.
We'll
If
get
you
a
had
point
said
for that
league goals, I would definitely gone in the 40s.
one. Right, okay. What league do Cowdenbeath play? I'll give you that one. It's League 2, so
Yeah.
second division. I'll give you that.
I said 2.
You got that one right.
Said second league, did you know?
You see-
Aye, but he gets
I said
it.
what league? I said League 2.
Aye.
There we go.
Stephen
Wasn't he great though?
David
Listen,
Hopkins, the manager
deal with
of
English
Morton, and Graham Dorrans is currently playing with Western Sydney Wanderers. You got 6, Andy.
Well done.
Decent, Andy.
Aye.
Look at that.
Getting
There
there.
we go. So
I'm
that
happy
puts,
with
that
that.
puts you on a par with Pat Nevin.
Take a bow, son.
Oh, that's all right.
Take a bow, Andy.
Nice.
Take a bow.
If I'm in a par with the Guardian reading Pat Nevin, then I'm right. I'm okay there. Don't worry about that.
Hey,
Andy.
John, know what we should do? See, just for a wee clip at the start of the show, something, get him to say football daft, take a bows or something like that. Aye, we should definitely get that, man.
Well,
Come
welcome to
on.
Football Daft. Take a bow. Will you say that for us?
Aye.
Go on. Right. Welcome to Football Daft. And all I've got to say to you guys is, take a bow, guys. Take a bow.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Audio Frontier.